Metal Hurlant number 9 from 1976. Today we're going to look at Metal Hurlant number 9 from 1976. But before we get into it, let me just point out that my film Witch Tales, the feature film which is based upon pre-code horror comic book stories from the 1950s, is available on eBay. And it is signed and numbered. There are only about 15 of these left. So, this channel is not monetized. If you feel like buying a copy to support me in my work, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Okay, heavy metal, Metal Hurlant. This is issue number 9, folks, 1976. And the one thing, right off the bat, one of my favorite heavy metal or Metal Hurlant covers of all time. This is definitely my top 10 of everything. The Tardi cover here of Simple, a robot happily munching on a rocket ship. It just gives me joy every time I look at it. It's just so hilarious. I mean, it's so basic. It's so simple. Unlike many of the other Metal Hurlant heavy metal covers, as you know, and with some of the great artists and the intricacies, Moebius and Druillet and Nicolet, all of these guys. But this one is just fantastic. And with issue number 9, they started going monthly. Okay, so this is the kickoff to their monthly cycle of Metal Hurlant. Keep in mind, this is September of 1976, so heavy metal does not exist yet. One of the things, they always had like advertisements for science fiction books, This is one of them, as you can see, some top names in here. Aldous Asimov, Clerc, Pierre Boulez, Philip K. Dick, Edmund Hamilton, Robert Heinlein, Ira Levin, of course, H.P. Lovecraft, Silverberg, Sturgeon, Tolkien in this, Van Vogt. So these sell, but Jaques, I guess, they sell all of these. Fantastic. The one thing about Metal Hurlant is they really pushed the reading of science fiction too. You see a lot of ads for books, just normal, books, and so forth. And I think that's fantastic. We open up, we have Editorial by Jean-Pierre Dionnet, one of the founders of Metal Hurlant. And he mentions here Barry Smith. He's talking about Barry Windsor Smith. And here we go with 1996 by Montellier. And these are hilarious little one-page. You've seen them. They showed up in heavy metal. This is 1976 when the magazine comes out. His thing is 1996, 20 years later. This guy's on TV talking about psychiatric services for people. And the woman's getting pissed off, the mom. She's like, change the channel. So they changed the channel, click, and it's this bobble-headed chick singing this song. Some stupid-ass love song. The little kid is like alarmed. He's like, or pissed off. Pretty funny. Funny stuff. So in issue number 9 here, that was Montellier with 1996. A little typo there. Yes, it says 1993. It is 1996. Then we have Manover, with, I think it's just a, an editorial. But then we're in with Tardi, with Polonius, and it's Picaret writing it, Tardi Dessins drawing it. So it's Tardi drawing it there, the art. Then Rivière, Francois Rivière, Rivière, I believe. And then you've got, once again, Nicole Claveloux. She's all over Metal Hurlant. Then you have, let's see, Moebius, of course, is in here with the Airtight Garage. Yeah, Olivia Clavel. That's right. I kind of forget about her. We have Serge Clerc in here, Tardi. Philippe Druillet has VUZZ or VUZZ Chapter 3 in this issue. So VUZZ is already moving along, and we're going to take a look at some of that. So here's Polonius, and this is Tardi, who did the cover. That sweet robot munching the rocket cover. One thing I did want to quickly point out, though, this is Philippe Tardi. He's doing his editorial here. And he's got this little drawing, which is pretty funny. It looks like it's Moebius taking a photo, and there's the flying bird pterodactyl, possibly from Arzak or something. I don't know, but in any case, he takes the photo. Tardi's style is kind of cartoony. It's not detailed like Druillet or Moebius or Kaza, any of those people, but he's got an intriguing style. There's Nicole Claveloux, and written by ZHA. But man, check out that color. Suddenly the color is just, man, it is just so good. It is so good. Check that out. Good Lord, it's a color explosion, folks. That's what I'm saying. They just do it so right. They do the reproduction beautifully. This bird is just fantastic. The various looks of the bird, the woman. Yeah, coloring on that. I always look for her stuff when I'm looking at an issue. Don't know what this is. That is definitely Druillet right there. Okay, yeah, now they're talking about rock music. Yeah, they've got Jefferson Starship, Spitfire in there, Beatles, rock and roll music. And then they go into art. They go into cinema. They've got Alice Cooper, Alice Goes to Hell, Phil Spector, Wall of Sound in there, the Ramones. Folks, remember, this is 1976. The Ramones jump, they're on the scene, young, kicking butt, taking names. You got Kiss Destroyer. They've got a few books on science fiction art. I see Brian Aldiss, great writer. This is the type of stuff that I just love, as well about Metal Hurlant, is that they would relate everything going on at the time. You had the art in the book, obviously in the magazine, but then you had the music, you had the actual books, the science fiction writers, fantasy writers, and so forth. Music, what's happening in music, everything. So it puts it into perspective. It's fantastic. Les Adventures de Roger Fringhat in 1976. The Airtight Garage. Le Garage Hermétique of Jerry Cornelius. Hilarious. So it's an ongoing story here. This guy, it's a giant. This dude is like a giant. And so he's running through the desert here, and then he comes across this crumbling pyramid, and there's a guy there, sitting there, another giant with a parasol. They have a fight, a brief fight. He knocks the guy out. Maybe he kills him. I don't know. But then he gets fucking blasted and loses his head. And so there's this guy's crawling out of his neck there. Pretty hilarious. He's a robot. Some ads from various people. This is, I'm not quite sure. There's instructions to cut these. I guess you can make a little issue here with these things. You cut them. Interesting. It's like a mini magazine. I love it. What a trip. And so there's a few pages of this. Collection of cinema. What's really interesting is you got all of these, the collection of cinema. It's all classic stuff. Marilyn Monroe, Humphrey Bogart, Marlene Dietrich, Gary Cooper, Laurel Hardy, Greta Garbo, Boris Karloff, Mae West, Gene Kelly. Really interesting connection between Metal Hurlant and, how can I say, 1940s, 1950s Americana. They love it. There's influence on Moebius, Druillet, and so forth. And in turn, they influence so many movies that were influenced by Moebius, Druillet, Jodorowsky, Dan O'Bannon, that all worked within Metal Hurlant. Some more ads. Really cool. Robbie. That is just so great, man. Another artist here. Really cool. More stuff. That Starship Enterprise, their body. I think those are like, you know, what do they call those things? They're formats for the characters, or the way that the uniforms are for Starship Enterprise. Blazing color on this. I think this is Tardi. Again, bizarre. Well, really nuts looking stuff there. It's really, really great line art. I want to make sure I get this guy right too. He's one guy I'm not very familiar with. Mas. It's either Mas or Masse. Don't know, but it's really cool line work. I love Zipatone. How about you? I do dig the Zipatone. Some intense stuff in here. A lot of it's cross-hatching heaven, folks. Some gorgeous ads here, as you can see. You got your first issues of Metal Hurlant, issues 1 through 7 thus far. So there's the first 7 issues. God, man. And then, you know, specialty books. You got Rolf Corbin right there. Lester Del Rey does a book on classic pulp science fiction. The great Lester Del Rey. Just love that guy. Of course, you got Moebius here. Jaques Tardi, of course, Baudet. Jones, of course, is in this Frazetta book. Gwendoline. You could get these freaking posters, like the Druillet posters, Moebius posters. I mean, huge. This thing is 1 meter wide, folks. 1 meter by 0.70 meters tall. God, so what did they want to charge for that? Let's take a look. There it is. Arzak. 25 francs for that huge poster. Of course, this is in 1976, so, you know. I'm a teenager, 1976, 77, 78, 79, 80. Of course, you're not making much money, right? But not only that, you just don't see, this shit's not in the United States, at least stuff I did not see. Here's some ads here, Superman versus Spider-Man. That is A.E. Van Vogt. And we're going to end it, of course, with Chapter 3 of VUZZ, Philippe Druillet. It is an incredible fucking line work, man. In black and white or color, although I do love his color. I got some stuff of Druillet's in color that is just going to blow your minds from earlier. Before Metal Hurlant. Yeah, that's right. Before 1975, folks. So we're going to look at that soon. Some more advertisements for various art books that I'm sure are as expensive as hell, from Futuropolis Diffusion. And then the back is Ahinana. But in any case, there is your robot eating the rocket ship with great joy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, for any books or films that I have mentioned here that are for sale, please check the links in the description. Thank you.